Senyor, welcome! Maayong adlaw ka natong tanan. This is probably one of the most beautiful times in our Christian life, and that is our celebration here in Cebu of the Sinulog. We probably have one of the longest running Christmas celebrations in the world. We start in September, you hear the jingles, and then we move on to December where we have the birth of Christ. And then for us, we see the baby Jesus grow into the Santo Niño. Isn't that wonderful? So this celebration is one vast exchange of ideas, events, and of course, people. And today, we will talk about one of the most significant persons in the Sinulog celebration here in Cebu, Dolores Morales Suzara. Dolores Morales Suzara, or as I fondly call her, Tita Dolly. I will always associate her with the University of San Carlos. She was, for quite some time, the head of the physical education department. And because she was very much into dance, she was also part of the Philippine Folk Dance Society. What is very interesting to note is that because of her work as a teacher, she went on to spreading her love for many things. One is for the love of dance and the love for the Santo Niño. Today, we remember Tita Dolly as project director of the Sinulog Foundation and the Sinulog celebration. But I think that many of her students will remember how she was very active as a teacher, a mentor, and always a supporter of the arts.
Itik-itik Tibona.
Itik-itik is a popular dance in the Visayas. What you're watching now is Itik-itik Sibonga, as danced by the Bibliusan dance troupe of the University of Southern Philippines Foundation. This dance was researched by Araceli Campos, and Dolores Morales Suzara was then the dance facilitator of the Philippine Folk Dance Society of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. Family is often the center of our celebrations. And in the life of Tita Dolly Suzara, family was part of her devotion to the Santo Niño. When we talk about the Santo Niño, oftentimes we think of the baby, the child. And yes, we think of those around him, his parents, his family. In our lives, we see how the Santo Niño is reflected in our own children. And that is why we would like to give these moments to her family to talk about the one person they love the most.
I'm Virgie Locson, and I'm a licensed real estate broker, and I'm the youngest of 7 in the family. Because I always regarded her as a big sister. She always took care of what I needed, what I wanted, and I always remember her. She was my travel buddy. We went to Hong Kong, we went to Bangkok, because we had the same taste for food and of course, shopping. But we don't go for branded names. And, you know, like the prices, we go on bargaining. She loved green mangoes. Although fish is abundant here in Cebu, but in Bangkok it was different. The taste was different. Ate Dolly was really, she was like a second mother to me. When I taught in San Carlos, she taught me how to compute the grades. She introduced me to the Dean of Physical Education, Mrs. San Diego, and I was also part of the dance troupe of San Carlos. As far as I can remember, every summer, Ate Dolly would send my ticket to join her in Manila while she was still studying in UST. They said, "How come you're the only one who got the ticket?" I said, "Favorite sister, man." So I always remember that, and I even told my children that how I wish when you become you arrive at my age, that you will treat your brother, because she's the only girl, so you treat your brothers just like that. I mean, be like friends. That's why when Ate Dolly passed away, I lost a mother and a sister. When she was here in Cebu, my experiences were there with Sinulog, because when she judged contests in different places, I always tag along. We went to Mass in Redemptorist Church, and a boy came bringing some flowers, was trying to sell one to us. "Mom, please, just help, just for help." And Ate Dolly said, "Sure." And she reached out at him. And the boy said, "Uy, Kailam, I know you. You are Queen of Sinulog." I'll never forget that. We were so... And that really made me proud, that very moment. She was always there. When I had personal problems or business problems, I always run to her, and it's just a phone away. And I called her, "That's what do I do in this particular situation?" And she'd give her advice. She listened to all your needs, and she made sure that problems are taken care of. Whenever we had family problems, she always heads the sisters, the group. The first time that she brought me, she said, this is not an invitation to a contest or anything, because I'm so used to her giving me, that's the perks of being a sister of the Sinulog Queen, as you said. So she always gave me tickets for Cebu City, for the Sinulog event, and this time it's different. I said, just come with me and see it. So I went with her, and I saw that there were so many people in the place. I said, "Isn't this the house of Nympha?" I said, wait, you wait until we go inside. And then I went inside. There, the Santo Niño, the white Santo Niño was there. And she said, okay, just choose a seat and pray for your attentions if you want from Santo Niño. And I couldn't believe my eyes. The Santo Niño danced towards me, not really dancing fast, but the Santo Niño was walking towards me. And I said, "Ate Dolls, is this for real?" I said, "Is there no battery inside?" She said, "Oh, that's why I brought you here, so you will experience it yourself.
Yes.
You won't be hearing stories, but you yourself will attest to the fact that this is a miraculous Santo Niño." Yes, we are a very devout Catholic. We always pray the Holy Rosary. Please stay. I mean, I know it's God's will that she wants you to be with him above. But how I wish you were here, because you're always the arms I could run to, there to soothe me when I had problems. I haven't overcome it yet, but I'm trying. I miss her as a mother and as a sister. And I really wish she was here with me right now.
What is now one of the most popular festivals in the whole world actually had humble beginnings. In 1980, David Odilao of the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development gathered together PE teachers to ask them to spearhead what would be the beginning of the Sinulog Street Parade. One of these, of course, was Tita Dolly. This would call in the efforts of several local universities. The parade started at Plaza Independencia. How historic can it be? And it went on into the hearts and minds of the Cebu city government. This fueled their imagination for a festival on a much grander scale. And this is also due to the efforts of all the men and women who came together with their talents, with their ideas, and very importantly, with their passion for the Santo Niño.
I have known Ma'am Dolly since the early 1990s. I was then the executive director of Cebu City Sports Commission, and she was the president of the Cebu Physical Education Association. So every time we have big activities, I always made to a point that she is the chairman of the Committee on Opening Ceremonies, like the Palarong Pambansa, the Southeast Asian Games. Ma'am Dolly was a living proof of how fine a person can be. She was a good mentor, a good friend, and a mother to the people she is close with, especially in the world of the culture and the arts. I had the chance to work with her because when I became executive director of Sinulog Foundation, she was also the project director. She introduced me to the world of the culture and the arts. And she has so many connections in the world of the culture and the arts to the Philippine Folk Dance Society, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, and the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. The character of the life she lived might be summed up in few words. She was sincere, passionate, she was earnest, she was loyal as a friend, and to her work. She is very passionate to her work at Sinulog Foundation. As a matter of fact, as early as January, right after Sinulog, we already planned out all the activities lined up for the following year. And we made it to a point that as early as July, all activities are already lined up. We conduct workshops to different choreographers. We also visit festivals all over the Philippines. I remember also that in the first year we worked together, we conducted a festival management in the province of Cebu. And that's the start of flourishing of festivals all over the Cebu Islands. And we come up with different, we formed a pool of speakers to talk about festival management. And not only in Cebu Islands, we're also invited to talk on festival managing in Bohol, in Siquijor, and in Negros Island, and some parts of Luzon. I remember also that we have to travel like 12 hours attending a festival, one way of promoting Sinulog. So that's how passionate Ma'am Dolly is about Sinulog. She talks about Sinulog very much. And as project director of the Sinulog Foundation for almost decades, Ma'am Dolly led us such a way that she exemplified leadership. She gave energy, commitment, and inspiration to Sinulog staff and all the working committees. She is always the last person to leave Sinulog right after Sinulog Grand Parade. She makes sure that everything is in order, the results are in order, and all the judges are taken care of. During December, I can forget this because during December, she's in charge with the dance component of Sinulog. So we have to take care of the judges, and we have to take care also of the judging stations. So we have to go to houses and ask them if we can use their house as a judging station or maybe offices. So by December, everything is already planned out. And by early January, we had just have to do the finishing touches just for the implementation. Mom Dolly, I remember, was a happy Dolly, one who not only was cheerful in herself, who gave much cheerfulness to others. She had a beautiful smile, a sense of humor, and a gentle demeanor. Mom Dolly was bright, logical, and systematic in her thinking and her words. She was always willing to share her talents and skills and knowledge just to improve the performances of the choreographers. Right after the performance, she do critiquing and gave them advice on how to improve their choreography, their costuming, and overall production. She was passionately interested and really loves to talk about Sinulog matters and would advise choreographers on how to improve performances. Many of us found her to be a splendid person of great intellect and big heart. In her career as project director, she really worked with passion, integrity, and energy. All the people who know her will miss a highly intelligent, vibrant individual with a rare friendliness of charm and personality. Ma'am Dolly was a genuine, warm, wonderful individual, one we will greatly miss. She's truly an icon of Sinulog and very deserving to be called as one and the only Sinulog Queen. As a fitting tribute to her, we named the Sinulog Festival crown to her as Inang Dolly, or Mother Dolly, for her commitment, tireless dedication, and as ambassadors of the culture and the arts. And I'm very happy and privileged that I'm one of the most privileged person to meet her and know her personally. For me, without Ma'am Dolly, Sinulog will never be the same. I think with being Ma'am Dolly, I think you have to be passionate in your work. I think you focus on the little details. Ma'am Dolly is very meticulous in terms of preparation. She makes sure that the guidelines are properly made. She made sure that if there's a violation, there's a corresponding penalty. And she's never scared. So one thing also is that Ma'am Dolly, she's not greedy to share his talent and ideas to choreographers. That's why I think most of the choreographers love her. Wherever we go, whether we're in the mall, whether we're in the plane, whether we're in a boat, many recognizes her. And that's one thing that I really admire to Ma'am Dolly. Ma'am Dolly, no, she loves to wear jeans. She loves to wear jeans. And she's very, in terms of fashion, she's really updated. And she's a demure person, but she has also a sense of humor. The good thing with Ma'am Dolly is that she can easily deal with different kinds of personalities. So she can be fun, she can be serious, but in terms of work, she's very focused in her work, and she made sure that everything is in order. That's why I think it's her personality, being a former academe, and at the same time being president of the Cebu Physical Education Association, so she can easily deal with the choreographers. Most of the choreographers really love her. And one thing also, like wherever we go, not only in Cebu, she's not only popular in Cebu, but even in Manila, even in the people in the culture of the arts, she's very well loved. Wherever we go, like in Bohol, probably because she's a teacher, so many recognizes her. And she was also the artistic director of University of San Carlos Dance Troupe. So one time, I think one experience with Ma'am Dolly is that we were sitting in a plane and somebody gave us a gift, including me. And the gift came from a stewardess. And she said, as she introduced herself to Ma'am Dolly, and she said, I was one of your students. One thing also, like Ma'am Dolly exposed me to international travel. She loved to promote Sinulog. That's why I think Sinulog became the best festival in the Philippines. So she was already sick at the time. So when the award when we get the award, she was the first person that I called, and she was very happy, especially when also we received the award as the most popular festival in Asia. She was also the first person that I relayed the information to her, and she was very happy. Even she was sick, she was still keep on calling the office and asking for updates. And when she was still recuperating in the hospital, she really wanted to see Sinulog. And one time she was watching Sinulog, she's very weak, and she was on a wheelchair. And that's how she loved Sinulog very much. Well, she could talk endless about Sinulog. So every time we talk in any conversation, it always segues to Sinulog. And she can talk from the 1980s, the time when they conceptualized the Sinulog in 1980s, the first parade, the first few schools who participated in the first parade. She was very passionate about Sinulog, and I think Sinulog is her life. That's how important Sinulog to her.
We first met each other during the annual National Folk Dance Workshop at the Folk Arts Theater in 1986. This was a project of the Cultural Center of the Philippines. We were also together in the revival of the Philippine Folk Dance Society as an organization. We were members and every now and then elected as officers of the society. Dolly was the one who introduced a lot of Cebu dances in the annual National Folk Dance Workshop at the Folk Arts Theater. Aside from that, we were together in the conduct of the National Folk Dance Workshop in the different regions of the Philippines. We also traveled together to Hong Kong for the same project. And Cebu had been participating in the CCP Annual Folk Dance Workshop Festival, which was a celebration of the National Arts Month in February. And she was the one who would bring delegates from Cebu and would head the delegation and participation of the Cebu chapter. We also were together as folk dance sector representatives at the National Commission for Culture and the Arts. We as a person and a co-worker. She's a very jolly person, always fun to be with. She has so many funny stories to tell. There is no doubt that she is also like that, even at home. But she is very simple. Simpleng magbihis, simple ang mga gamit, but she has a very unquestionable integrity. She will not accept anything that is questionable. It always has to be perfect for her. But you can always ask her for some level of understanding. We miss Dolly a lot. It's January time again, and it's Sinulog time. We usually go to Cebu through the invitation of Dolly to judge the Sinulog Festival. And see my trophies here, my collection of trophies of the Sinulog. So even if Dolly is not with us anymore, her memory stays with me. with all of us. Her works and her accomplishments as a promoter of Philippine folk dances will always live in the memories of the organization, the Philippine Folk Dance Society, and all our constituents nationwide. I love you, Dolly.
And my memories of her can never be forgotten when she started inviting me to be part of the festival, being a judge. That was over 30 years ago, and for 3 decades, I never failed to be part of the judging committee of the Sinulog Foundation. Thank you so much. That was the memory left with a lady who was an icon, who is an icon, he will be an icon in the Sinulog Festival. A lady that everybody can remember is an empowered lady in terms of her involvement in several activities of the Philippine Folk Dance Society, of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts National Committee on Dance, in physical education, in sports, in recreation, that made a name not only for the University of San Carlos, but particularly in the province of Cebu, a lady that was the best in terms of her leadership and dedication, together with love and devotion to the icon Santo Niño. I vividly can remember when Mami Suzara started to invite me together with the late national artist Ramon Abusan in the celebration of the Sinulog Festival, the years way back when the judging area was still at the Ayala, before it went into the sports complex. And my involvement, not only as a judge, I was also invited in several times to conduct workshops and various lectures. Mami Suzara is a name where she became a mommy because she dropped off everything, leadership, her being Dolly Suzara as a professor, because she loved everyone involving in the festival, and that her name became with an attached mommy as a family. For me personally, I could never forget her, and she'll never be forgotten in my mind and in my heart. Mami Suzara, deep inside me, will always be remembered. Maraming salamat.
Miss Dolly Suzara was one of our mainstays. In fact, since we had that bahog-bahog sa Mactan in 1979, and we organized again Sinulog in 1980, she was there, meaning the group of San Carlos was there, and she was one of the best choreographers that we had. Mayo ang iyang relationship sa iyang kauban ng mga PE directors like Mike Gonzalez, guban pa ang mga grupo nilang appeal sa among mga contingents nito. Because there were 7 contingents nito, mga schools, colleges, and universities. And San Carlos was one of them. okay kayo to siya. Okay to si Dolly. In fact, murag nahiubos ko gamay kay wa ko mahibaw nga ipanaw siya. Her soul rest in peace. Jolly, wa siya problema, okay lang. Kung sa'yo mga instructions, kamaw na itong mo, okay kayo siya. She was very important because, of course, ang contingent nila sa San Carlos was one of the best. Maito mo da sa iyang grupo si Dolly. In fact, ang mga colleges, universities, napil na ito. San Carlos, UB, Southwestern, CIT, USB, USGR, UC, and CISA. Makaingon ko, Dolly was a very cooperative, very jolly to be with. Sige rin po siya katawa. O doon na yung mga instructions. Kaya ako, muraman to. Ako yung producer, ako yung director na to. So, mauna yung Panginoon. In fact, pag-practice na mo sa unang sinulog diya sa Basilica, apil mo to siya sayaw. Maayo mo to siya sayaw. Ma'am Dolly. Irispitaran na mo to. Sa among grupo, sa iyang mga membro sa ilang kapunungan at mga PE directors sa tanang eskwelahan din sa among di makalimtan, of course, katong nag-practice with sayaw diha sa Sinulog sa in France sa Santo Niño, sa Basilica, sa Basilica. Because ipapil man po nila sayaw. We really miss Ma'am Dolly. She was one of the best PE choreographers that we had at that time. But there was no contest at that time, the first Sinulog. All of them were given just trophies. After the first dance na mo, first salvo na mo around Basilica, di kami mangaon sa Plaza Independencia. So, then, kara grupo, doon na yun sa Kalitson. It was more of a fiesta. Paniod to naman to. Then after a while, nag-raised me, sayaw na sad. Because it was the whole day affair. And Sinulog at that time was more of halad kini. Atong pahinungod kini sa senyor. So, wa pa tong mga kuan nga mga nahimuron na bago ng Sinulog. Doon na na-interpretation. It was more of halad or in veneration of the Senior Santo Niño. Ikuha siya sa Sinulog Foundation. Very amiable na tao siya. Such a great loss. Nauna man ka, I know you are in safe hands. Kami, magpabot kung may sa among panahon. Amo lang is, may your soul rest in peace. Kami, kung sa manggaling, wa man mi katambong sa imong paghaya, paglubong. Pasensya na, medyo pandemic naman taniyan to. Ang amo lang ampo is puhon, madamag. Siguro makita-kita arta ka. Magkumustahay tag-usap. May your soul rest in peace. Approachable siya. Kung mailan mo siya, murag di ka mataha niya. Hinayon man to siya musulti. Pero root sa kuan yun. From the heart.
Wa nga nung retire man ka nga imo ang gikan sa imong kasing-kasing. O nanon, imo nang halad sa imong kaugalingon. Wa na masud sa akong utok. Wa ako masud anang how I am to be remembered. Ako lang, service to the Santo Niño. Part of it. Nga, buhi pa ko. Nagyapon ko sa Sinulog. Makalingaw. Sobra pas lingaw. Wala. Naalang gyapon ka. Mangkuy koan kaya. Part naman of my koan na naman gid sa Santo Niño. Especially when I got sick. I got sick nga. Ano gid serious gusto akong sick. Na
To the child who is the reason for the season and who inspires us all in all our celebration, and to all who adore him, our voices echo in praise as we thank him and glorify him in our Sinulog. And to all those who have devoted their lives, like Dolores Morales Suzara, so that the Sinulog may continue and flourish, we give our thanks. Thank you for making the celebration a part of the rich cultural heritage of the Cebuanos, our gift, gasa ngadto sa kalibutan. Viva Pit Senyor!
Senyor, kitang tanan magpisenyor.
Bye.